There's a great tradition in Judaism that parents bless their children. And the term, the verse that we actually use is from this week's Parsha, Parshas Vayechi, where we say the verse, Yesimcha Elokim ke'Ephraim u'Menashe. God should make you like Ephraim and Menashe, the two sons of Joseph. The question is, we had so many wonderful people in our heritage, in our ancestry. Why do we have to specifically bless our children that they should be like Ephraim and Menashe? Right? They could be like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, like our patriarchs, or like our matriarchs. Right? Why do we specifically bless our children? And the Torah actually tells us that you will bless your descendants, you bless your children through Ephraim and Menashe, like Ephraim and Menashe. So the answer, I've seen, there are numerous answers given to this, but I want to share one which I think is very appropriate today. And that is because the children of Jacob all grew up in a secured environment, in a Jewish environment. You know, they had siblings, and they had relatives, and they had grandparents, all in their neighborhood, all in their area. They all lived in the land of Canaan. But the two sons of Joseph were born and were raised in Egypt, among the nations of the world, among all of the Gentiles. They didn't grow up with rabbis around. They didn't grow up with a school and yeshiva. They grew up with nothing around them, nothing of Judaism around them. Yet, they grew up to be tremendously holy and righteous people. And therefore, Jacob says that through them we should bless our children. That just like our children, our descendants, many generations after Ephraim and Menashe, will be growing up in places like Houston, Texas. Will be growing up in places like Seattle, Washington. Will be growing up in places where there isn't that much of a Jewish culture, where there is that much of a Jewish environment, the way we have in Jerusalem, or the way we have in greater Jewish hubs like New York or Chicago or LA. Much smaller cities, much smaller Jewish populations. It may be difficult for us to grow as Jews and to be separated from the nations of the world. We bless our children. God should make you have the success like Ephraim and Menashe, who were able to withstand the challenges of their times. That even though they weren't raised in an environment that was purely Jewish, they still grew up to be righteous Jews, to be upstanding Jewish people who followed the words of the Torah, who followed the laws and the commandments. So God should bless us all, that no matter where we are, we should always have the strength to follow in the footsteps of our ancestors and continue the heritage, continue our practice of the Torah, just like Ephraim and Menashe did in Egypt. Thank you and have a wonderful Shabbos.